Well, Spotify CEO stands behind the way the platform has dealt with Joe Rogan controversy. Okay, so the controversy, the handling. What did they do? Did they slap him on the wrist? Did they kick him in the nuts? Is he fired? Did they take all the money back? What did they do?
They chose to put a disclaimer on his broadcast, and what the statement that they made is that they don't have control like that of his show. They can he's allowed to do whatever he wants until he publishes that show. Once that show is published, then Spotify can determine and do investigations as to whether that content is acceptable or not. And the Spotify CEO has said that there have been times where Rogan has released stuff and it has been removed from Spotify due to its content. So that's what the Spotify CEO said. He said, what we can do based on the deal that we have is we can put a disclaimer up on Joe Rogan's thing. And that's kind of as far as the rabbit hole is going to get. He's not going to get suspended. There's no fines. You know, he's not
So
going to pull off of Spotify.
so to be clear, Rogan puts it out. If it I guess goes against any of their guidelines, they have the right to take it down.
Right,
Has
right.
that ever happened? Because
He
Rogan
said
puts
this, yeah.
crazy stuff.
This, the CEO has said, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't specific. I didn't hear anything specific about what episodes or what they were talking about, but he did say that there have been previous episodes that have been posted by Joe Rogan that have been taken down by Spotify.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like they've never punished him for his content. They just feel like they are very firm in their belief of freedom of expression.
What do we know? Some of the topics he was talking about.
Well, I mean, there's a few things that he's been talking about that people have deemed like very, very poisonous to the field of COVID knowledge out there. And I mean, the first one, I think the most obvious is when he talked about ivermectin, and he quote unquote talked about it as the end of COVID. You know, he said that there was a study. Hold on, let me find the right paragraph. So there was a biologist, Bert Weinstein, on Joe Rogan's show, and he said that he studied ivermectin alone, and if properly utilized, it's capable of driving this COVID pathogen to extinction,
Ah,
is what he said.
there's some
He
big.
read from the study suggesting that it was 86% effective in preventing infections of COVID as well, to which Joe Rogan responded, crazy number. So there's the first thing. And of course, we all know what happened with that ivermectin discussion because that went super popular. There was another incident that happened where they were talking about mass formation hypnosis. This was, of course, a different guest that he had on his show. And on this one, the guest was pretty much saying that what is happening right now is there are people who are being hypnotized by the media in masses. A third of the population, in fact, is what was being said, is being hypnotized. And it's believed that like Anthony Fauci is just by the way he's saying things and the way things are being portrayed, it was compared to Hitler during Nazi Germany and how he converted people onto his side. So that's what somebody was saying was going on here. And we shouldn't have any real hope of anything being solved because this is actually what's happening. There was the infamous McCullough interview. And in the McCullough interview, he claimed that the pandemic was planned and that early treatments were deliberately suppressed in order to promote fear, suffering, isolation, hospitalization, and death. These are largely unfalse. I don't even know what that word is, but these are highly conspiratorial claims that he's making right here, right?
You mean that wasn't true? None of this stuff was true. Who are these
This is
dumb?
something that he
Who are these
claimed. No, but there's
dumb people that believe this stuff? You're so dumb. You're dumb
McCullough.
people.
McCullough also claimed during this interview that the coronavirus vaccine trial in Australia turned people HIV positive,
Of
and that
course,
the evidence of this was suppressed.
of course, it was.
He cited that there was a 2020 Chinese study that dealt with transmission after a harsh lockdown and noted that there was no such thing as asymptomatic.
Oh man.
And in the same study, he acknowledged it had less data on asymptomatic transmission for the fact of more suppression of evidence. So this was a very interesting interview. There's one more. I got one more for you. The last one here that was spoken about on Joe Rogan's podcast was the speech about microchips and the real reason that they were using the microchips, right? So the discussion here didn't really focus on, because obviously you can see where this is going from a conspiratorial perspective. You understand where they're doing with it.
Yeah, it's
The
stupid.
point that was made here, or the point that was given as evidence, was that we're saying, listen, these microchips had to have been planned and put into production before. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Somebody call me. Um, these had to have been into production before the pandemic. You know what I mean? This is something that couldn't have been created during this, and then they just came up with all this technology and all this other stuff. So this is obviously a conspiracy, and they obviously think what everybody else thinks the microchips are for, and it's for tracking and controlling people and controlling your mind and all those other things. So this was spoken about on his podcast with guests. These were things that were spoken about. So this is some of the information that's being pushed on the Joe Rogan podcast. And while I'm not a fan of the whole vaccine, anti-vax conversation and what you should do, and this is this information and this is that, I can definitely say that hearing some of the things that they've been speaking about on his shows that I didn't know about, some of this shit is very dangerous, man. For real, for real, for real.
So some of this stuff is dangerous to somebody who is a nitwit, who is feeble-minded, who is easily persuaded. It's like, bro, two doors. One door says, big sign on it, if you open it, you will get shot in the face. Other door says, money. I'm gonna open the door with the gun in. Like, no, this is who's falling for this. How dumb could you be?
It's not
Like,
it's not about stupidity though. You have
it
to
is about
understand.
stupidity. It is
No, no,
about
no,
stupidity.
no.
Mike,
It's
it is
about
about
some
stupidity.
it's about blind loyalty. That's what it's about. It's about blind loyalty. When somebody is a fan of somebody and like a diehard fan, it's
Mm-hmm.
like being in a relationship. It's like when you're in a relationship and all your boys are telling you that your girl's cheating on you,
Okay.
and you refuse to see it. You can't see the signs. The signs to you are blind.
Yeah.
She's at the table, she'll turn her phone over.
I
And
get
you're
it.
not paying.
I
The
get it.
signals
I
are
get
there,
it.
but you don't
Yeah.
want to pay attention
Yeah,
to it because
and
you
that
the
person,
blind loyalty you have
no,
to your
that person
girlfriend.
is stupid. So this is stupidity. I understand what you're saying, but this is stupidity. This is dumb. You can't prevent your girlfriend from being a hoe. I mean, there's certain rights and within the contract that Rogan has for him to say what he wants to say. That was a statement made by the CEO, Spotify. We can take it down after. But so you can't blame Rogan, just like you can't blame the girl. But you can blame the people who listen to this and believe it. So you people are stupid. You know, sometimes I'll be watching the major networks and they're talking about the followers of one side, and they're
Right,
just, you see it in their face. You're like, man, these people are so dumb. How could you believe this? But they can't say that, right? Because they're on a major network. You can't insult
right.
half the country. I would get fired the first day because I'd be like, you niggas is dumb. You guys are really dumb. You know, and
People
that's just
choose
how I
where they
feel
get
about it.
people choose where they get their information from.
I don't
That's what it comes.
care. Who
No,
cares?
but I'm telling you, that's what it comes down to. That's what
That's
I'm trying to
fine,
show
but
you.
you don't have to
People choose
believe
where
everything. You think I get a lot of my information from the same place? American news, Canadian news from the same place. I don't believe everything they say. Like, I have a functioning brain that can decipher bullshit according to me. And guess what? Just because I say it's wrong, it might even be right. I don't know. I wasn't there. But
right,
I'm going to use my common sense to say, I believe this, I don't believe that. And some things, my nigga, is just unbelievable. You should not put any stock into some of these things. But hey, you know, however you want to use your 24 hours is up to you.
I mean,
Joe,
the comparison of the media to Nazi Germany is wild. I don't think it's. I don't. Then again, I mean, try living a few days in Canada, and then maybe you might change your opinion on that. I might second guess that.
anywho, viewing public, what are your thoughts on the Rogan apology?
I said it.
Do you think he's gonna move in this more open, even, fair platform direction? Is it gonna be good or bad? Let us know. Leave it in the comments. Don't
I
forget
want to
to
know if he.
like and
But
subscribe. Okay, there's more. There's more.
Deuce Gang. I want to know if you think that just putting a disclaimer on the Joe Rogan podcast is enough of a punishment. Do you think that there should be more punishment? Do you think that Spotify really did everything that it could, or they're just looking to secure their bag? That's what I want to know.
No, that's just fine. You can't keep. He can't.
I'm
You
not
can't be
asking you. I'm not
fine.
asking you.
Whatever.
I
You
said Deuce
should.
Gang.
You should.
So don't answer the question. Nobody's asking you. Okay. Thank you.
Anyway, comments, subscribing, and liking the icons.